He can keep getting all the creep kills, but also run around, get kills, and be a part of his team's success.
Okay. Now, earlier, Winter, you mentioned that perhaps you see a little bit more of individual star power on the lineup of Team Liquid than Milk. I want to ask you, if you had to pick a player, I mean, would you be able to say that this is probably the key in this matchup against Wings? Whether, I mean, we've mentioned all of them at one point or another, right, so far watching their matches?
From Liquid?
Yeah.
I think Mind Control right now is the player to look for.
Okay.
I really like his offlane play. I think all of them are some of the very best at what they do.
All right, well, you can hear it, you can see it. It's time for the draft in game number 1. So far, nothing too special coming out, but we'll see how it pans out, especially, I mean, more so looking forward to the whole best of series in this final for ESL One.
It has to be whether or not they're debating Beastmaster or not. I think Beastmaster will be like instantly slashed up. There's Beastmaster and NP, I suppose, that are the two left, but Wings have tend to pick the Beastmaster a lot more.
Okay.
I think Liquid as well, they prioritize the Beastmaster like so much. Like both these teams, like they want to get the hero. What do you think would be a fair trade if you want to give away the Beastmaster?
I don't know. I think Wings, their two highest priorities are Invoker and Beastmaster. Those are the first two, so I'm not sure.
So trading a bounty for Beastmaster?
Okay.
I think that's okay. I think I'd prefer the Beastmaster over BH.
It's good in the sense that there's also Nature's Prophet in the pool.
But I don't know. Wings
so they weren't in a rush to pick it. There's a Nature's Prophet, there's a Beastmaster, there's a Bat Rider. The whole getting an offlaner, securing the offlaner isn't as important as getting the bounty hunter that really no hero replicates what he does.
Apparently Treant. For Wings, right?
Alright, for 2 minutes of the game.
Right. Well, like you guys mentioned, the Beast and then the NP being picked up by Wings. Perhaps not too worried about the bounty hunter going over. I mean, they selectively made the choice to ban out the Doom even over the bounty, so.
I think this is a good pickup by Wings because both of these heroes is what Mind Control favors. Taking away them both sort of nullifies his strengths.
But where are they going to run the...
Yeah, but if you have these two heroes, yeah.
Who's going to be position 4?
Are you going to do greedy jungling Beastmaster or you're just going to do safe lane Prophet?
They can both do a mid Beastmaster, they can do an offlane Beastmaster. As you were saying, safe lane Nature's Prophet, we've seen that with some success.
Who knows?
Okay. Mid Nature's Prophet is something I like to do. You go Dagon 5, Ethereal Blade, you just TP in, blast everything up. Woo!
That's why we're in open qualifiers.
Right. There you go. There's a little bit of a difference between standing here and standing over there at the booth. But Bat Rider is going to be the response so far for TN. Yeah, we'll find out as the draft goes on, as you guys were just discussing, exactly what the layout's going to be for Wings in this first game.
Yeah, but either way, having the bounty hunter on Liquid side means that the Bat Rider would have a much better start because you can actually control your lane better, get your level 2 better because BH will just run around, poke the supports and just give you the necessary space to get level 2. That's very important for Bat. Then you can start jungling and even leave the lane to the BH if you want to.
Yeah, so despite forcing Liquid's hand, it actually benefits them pretty well regardless.
I mean, but like you mentioned, Beastmaster and Prophet, obviously they are first choices for Mind Control.
Alright, next phase of bans. What do you expect might be a priority here for Wings?
You know, they're all over the map. After they picked the Venomancer carry, Necrophos, I have no idea.
Could be anything.
Wraith King?
It's more just waiting to find out in excitement.
I think Vengeful Spirit is one that could synergize really well with the push if they wanted to, and it's very nice for stat.
They're on Dire as well, so Venge, Beastmaster, Prophet, maybe a Lycan, throw a Lycan into the mix.
Drow Ranger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like they could easily build into a Roshan lineup since they're on Dire and they have Beast and Prophet.
True.
But I'm not sure whether they do run Beastmaster mid like what Melk suggested. I don't think I've seen it from them, but it's still a possibility if they want to do that.
I wonder if they'd run Ursa too, especially seeing how effectively Liquid ran it on Dire.
Didn't they run one game? I remember one game. I saw Ursa by Wings. I could be wrong.
I mean, they played a Phantom Lance up against the Death Prophet earlier, so I don't think they will shy away from putting a melee like a Beastmaster mate. He's still a very strong hero. Gives great room control.
So either way, like what they open right now with the Beastmaster and Prophet just has way many possibilities of what they can actually go into. So that's generally a very good sign when you open with a lot of possibilities because your enemy can't really tell what you want.
Right. Yeah, still kind of veiled in mystery here over for Wings.
Do you think Lone Druid is kind of in consideration for either of these teams?
Yeah, possible. Like Lone Druid, Prophet, Beastmaster, then you have the Venge. Very solid strategy on the Dire side.
I don't think it fits Liquid's lineup so well right now.
Bone Druid, you mean?
Yeah, whereas
Right.
it Wings, there's a lot of synergy in the 2 picks already, and they can easily fit it into their lanes. I mean, so can Liquid. Maybe. Actually, if the Beastmaster is forced to go middle lane, having a lone druid on the mid lane, the way Fader just played it, wouldn't be too bad.
Still holding on to that.
You seem so confused.
Yeah.
You're like,
you're like going next level on your own theories, just continuing on that path. I mean, but hey, you gotta take those chances. One of these times you're gonna sound like an absolute genius.
Exactly. If I just keep shooting, I'll hit at some point.
Exactly.
So that's the Lycan ban. Like,
Okay.
all the heroes that can use the Roshan. Lycan. There's still the Ursa, like you guys suggested. So that's the Venge.
There's the Venge.
Radiant team pick.
Vector, of course, having been taken out, gave a lot of teams trouble so far.
And for Liquid, there's another direction that they might be able to go to. Like, maybe go for more split push with BH, since they have like Bat Rider for pick off with BH. Maybe they can go for wave clear plus split push.
they don't do that often though, right? What do you suggest, like Puck or something like that?
No, like AM, since they
AM?
ran AM just now. I was thinking whether they could run the same thing.
I think Puck is a great pick because they can force the issue, keep on fighting throughout the game, take the advantage of Bounty Hunter, getting a lot of track kills. Fader's a good Puck.
Reserve time.
See, balls in Team Liquid's court, and not much time actually already, even using most of their reserve time for TL.
It's very hard for them to decide right now because they have to decide whether they will go for more team fight like they mentioned or go for split push, because right now what the enemy has is very dangerous. So they're going for more team fight.
Pick.
Good laning phase, Queen of Pain plus BH can pressure the opponent's mid a lot. So if the Beastmaster's going mid, he's gonna have a hard time.
Alright, the Ox is still there. The dream is alive. Now for Wings, then, do they start now thinking about how to kind of round it out and counter maybe what they're seeing on TL side, or do they also just stick to their guns?
That's the lone druid.
Don't do it, so yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Radiant team pick.
Very mobile heroes on Team Liquid side so far.
But they have to be able to stop the push right now. That's like the most important concern.
That's one of the reasons why they banned out the Death Prophet and the Lycanthrope. They realized they just played the opposite strategy.
Right.
So they realized the weaknesses of it, and then they go ahead and pick a Phantom Lance.
So this is like split, like they're gonna split pressure and they're gonna pick off with BH and Bat Rider. They have a lot of very mobile heroes like you mentioned, and they could easily move around the map and finding pickoffs, especially on the Prophet.
Yeah, the only solid lockdown right now, because Vengeful Spirit can even be dodged by
Remaining.
2 of these heroes, so Beastmaster is the only one that's really solid. Then of course Root.
So how hard do you commit with the push? They could easily put even Venge as a 1, Nature's Prophet as a 1, sometimes even Beastmaster we've seen as a 1, a no-tail style. So do you think they commit to a support that pushes more, or?
With the current lineup, I don't see them putting Venge as a 1.
I actually think there's still a possibility that they put Prophet off lane and put the Lone Druid safe lane, so you have Venge, Lone Druid, your safe lane is secure, then you can actually run the Beastmaster as a 4, a greedy 4. It's a possibility, or you just do dual lanes, Beastmaster plus Prophet off lane together.
You moved away from the Beastmaster mid altogether?
It's no longer an option.
Well, it's still technically an option, but it will be difficult for him in the laning
Radiant
phase.
team ban.
The Wyvern being banned out.
Up against the Phantom Lance, I actually think he can trade fairly even, can't he?
Don't you think the Queen might go mid? Queen plus BH?
Oh yeah, they had the Queen of Pain. I completely missed that. It's just a hero.
It did happen a little while ago. Forgive you.
There's so many of them on stage earlier.
One last ban for Team Liquid.
They're gonna all in the push, like they're banning the Wyvern, so it really signals
Right.
that Wings are gonna just go all out on the push.
Liquid's turn to pick.
And for Liquid, they need to be able to hold the push, find pickoffs with track, and get more items on PR, so the game goes long enough for him to carry it.
If you're all inning anyway, what's the best choice here for Wings?
Venomancer.
Alright, we're back.
I mean, it's quite okay for the push.
Chen?
And Venom is good, yeah, Chen as well. Chen is like the most solid. Oh, Chen is still actually available.
Yeah, Chen actually went completely unnoticed so far in this drafting game number 1. I mean, we've seen those slight changes in terms of which heroes make it through. We've seen Earthshaker
Reserve time.
make it through, or Earth Spirit rather. We've definitely seen Earthshaker make it through. We've seen Earth Spirit make it through earlier yesterday in quite a few matches too.
I think Necro wouldn't be that bad either.
Yeah.
Such a greedy draft.
Yeah. I don't know how well they can deal with the bounty hunter.
But if you go Necro, it means your Beastmaster is a 4, position
You
4.
can clearly tell Ben is the farmer on our team.
Starts to show its true feelings.
Ben's the guy that gets Midas, gets Boots of Travel, Radiance.
This is why we played the open qualifier.
10 seconds remaining.
All right, last 10 seconds for Wings. Which will it be? I mean, they're spending a lot of time perhaps trying to just make sure they're going to pick the most ideal one if they're all ending on a strategy anyway, and it's going to be Enigma.
Radiant team.
Alright.
So mid Beastmaster, offlane Prophet.
I think mid Lone Druids
Yeah,
far more
Lone Druid
likely.
is really good here, I think.
Okay.
Oh,
Keeper's
school.
Light.
The wave clear.
Yeah. So what do you think now that with that last pick? I mean, does it seem that Team Luca perhaps has a bit more of a well-rounded
Wait
lineup?
a minute, I was completely thrown off by this.
Hey, Wings is
On screen, Wings and Liquid was swapped.
Oh.
So it's actually Wings lineup that we've been calling Liquid's lineup. Aha.
Gotcha. You're on candid camera.
Well, that changes everything.
That does change everything. Well, now with that information, Mel, what is your opinion?
And I think Liquid is gonna win.
Yeah?
Yeah.
If it was flipped, would you still think Liquid was going to win? Is it a
Yeah.
matter of the draft? Do you think the Dire side is superior right now, or you think they will be able to use Liquid will be able to use the Dire roster?
Yeah, I'm
right
more
now
confident in Liquid being able to utilize this push strategy. They've just executed it twice in a row. We know Fader is gonna play the Lone Druid now. I'm much more confident
Remaining.
in the lineup. It doesn't seem as winged as Wings would have done if they had that lineup. Why no response on that one, huh?
All right, what do you think?
I'm confident in the Keeper of the Light.
Okay. So going over to Wings.
I'm down with the keeper.
game is loading in, but thank you, because I was just about to get a quick remark from you, Merlini. Down with the keeper. So let's see how it pans out. Wings versus Team Liquid. Game number 1 of the finals here at ESL One Manila 2016.
Let's get it started. Team Liquid versus Wings. I'm Toby One here with Cap as well as Blitz. What a final. Team Liquid versus Wings, and we're even now pulling out new heroes.
I'm really surprised by this. Honestly, I think this last pick, Keeper of the Light, definitely took a lot of people by surprise. I don't imagine that anybody really predicted this. Blitz, what's it all about? I mean, you've got obviously the Keeper of the Light Phantom Lancer combination, but what else does Akado really give you?
I think it's just the mana leak especially is really annoying for Liquid's lineup, especially when you're playing as the Lone Druid. Your mana pool evaporates so quickly. It's not the best stun per se, but for example, when you try to gank him and he doesn't have enough mana to Savage Roar, and you can't really use the bear to full functionality at that point. So what is the bear going to do to really mana regen until he gets something like the Vlad's?
Liquid's lineup is definitely a lineup that I would say can capitalize pretty early as long as they don't lose out on much of the laning phase. They should be able to get ahead with their Enigma as well. This Lone Druid situation, though, is probably the thing that interests me the most. This is twice that they pulled that out now, and it's just unique to a little bit unique for Liquid because we haven't seen them do this too often. They ran it against the Puck earlier today. Blitz, you said that was just a favorable matchup. What about this time?
I think this time as well, the Queen of Pain doesn't do very well against the Lone Druid as the game progresses. In the laning phase it'll be okay, but the issue with Queen of Pain is always if you get stunned or if anything hits you, you just kind of immediately die, especially the root. So you've got to be really careful in that regard.
And our top lane is going to be the Vengeful Spirit mixed up with the Furion against the dual lane of the Phantom Lancer and the Keeper of the Light. This is obviously one of those rare carry combos that can actually go aggro a little bit.
Yeah, and this is pretty safe for them too, just because Phantom Lancer is really hard to kill. We've seen teams use this in the past just because the Doppelganger is usually enough as of an escape mechanism, especially when there's a jungler in the pool.
In your head, what's the most important lane to really get some success for Liquid?
For Liquid, it's this off lane. It's going to be a one-on-one. They're going to need to do as much as they can. I wouldn't be too surprised if Kuro just decides to switch jungles and take advantage of this, especially with Ice's positioning, but right now, everything else seems relatively even.
Yeah, everything's pretty just standard lanes at the very, very start of it. You do have this like this one-on-one kind of thing between Mind Control as well as Faith. What are we actually expecting from this one too? Like, is any lanes, like, is there meant to be kills across the board? Innocence right now hasn't really disrupted Kuro's movement either.
Seems like for the most part, Liquid are going to be really happy with the fact that passive laning phase, they don't want to see a whole lot of kills on the board, while Wings, they're going to be trying to be a lot more disruptive with the Bounty Hunter moving around the map. He actually has a lot of opportunity here going into the mid game against heroes like the Furion to be able to set up potential ganks for Wings, because you've got this tempo controlling mid as the Queen of Pain, right? But it's just up to Innocence to find those openings for the Queen of Pain to be able to make the jump. The problem is Liquid have really defensive heroes. We talked a little bit about this Blitz a while back. You said the OG playstyle. Remember that? It was how like they had some just really tough heroes to gank. I feel like Liquid are almost running a similar strategy in some ways.
Yeah, most of the time too, if you look at Wings' lineup, there's going to be a very clear-cut timing to it, whereas Liquid...
Oh, trouble. Right now, Jirax, this could be first blood. Innocence was waiting with a double damage rune, and that will be first blood going the way of Wings.
And that's the beautiful thing right there, right? Is that the Bounty Hunter, you feel like it's not getting much done sometimes, but all it takes is one opening like that. And a first blood for the Queen of Pain is obviously gigantic, and it just will allow them to progress this Queen of Pain into a true mid-game dominator, which is what they desperately need to be able to slow down Liquid's push forward.
Should we start be looking at like the warding game right now? The fact there was still a sentry ward over on the VS, they weren't watching the bounties rotations. Is there critical places to see the bounties movements?
I mean, that particular gank, there wasn't a whole lot that you could do about it, and Jirax sort of did the right thing there where he tried to stun the Queen of Pain so she wouldn't get the last hit of all things. You're sort of okay with the Bounty Hunter getting it there, but you're going to see Fada, now he's going to place a sentry for himself. Not even really a gank mid, just delivering the sentry.
You would say in some ways that the Bounty Hunter is just kind of inevitable that he's going to find an opening like that. It's not necessarily a mistake by Liquid, right?
Yeah, it's hard to anticipate that, especially since they decide as a standard late setup that they're going to put the ward up at top. So they're not really going to have an idea of that rune, and that DD was pretty critical for that kill.
Surprisingly, Innocence is making a move in towards the mid lane. Like, it might actually slip behind the T1 tower, knowing that sentry was there, thanks to the D ward already happening. Okay, Courier won't be at risk, it's going to be fine. Courier's going to carry that one out. But Innocence is still on the hunt, and he's searching for Kuro.
Yeah, whenever you're running a Bounty Hunter against a jungler, half of your duty is going to be just sitting on top of him.
Careful with the Courier going back. They know it, Innocent, and now, well, there's your quick snipe. Down on bottom lane, the initiation also came on top of the Bat Rider. Faith, a little bit of trouble, but he's burning line control. Sorry, but it's a name bomb. Liquid, they're going to lose two down there. A double kill for the Bat Rider.
And one of the big things, oh my god, he got a double kill off of that. That was just so insane. Liquid are making so many early mistakes. First of all, the Courier, it was almost 4 minutes in, and then they just dropped 2 heroes against the Bat Rider. You don't have a worse start like that.
Yeah, part of the issue right there was that Kuro had to buy the sentries, and the Vengeful Spirit, after dying in that mid lane and running down bottom, had no gold to work with. So you saw the Bounty Hunter kind of just trawl around between the mid lane, was able to eventually get it, and even worse, that gank attempt by Liquid was pretty low percentage, just because it's a Beastmaster and a Vengeful Spirit. You don't have Roar available to you. The Bat Rider's hard to kill just because of the sticky napalm. It just felt like that was one of those desperation moves because they couldn't make anything happen top.
Yeah, Jirax is probably feeling a little bit useless in many ways. He can't do anything about the top lane. It's Phantom Lancer, Keeper of the Light lane. They just spam a lot.
Oh,
he
the
can't
support,
do anything to
Kuro, this is not good. The channeling starts up. The Illuminate will hit onto Kuro. He'll drop the sentry ward down. The Centaur actually stomping out. Thanks to the amount of conversions that were there, Innocence couldn't instantly follow through. This is allowing time for Jirax to rotate over, but the Observer was still giving the vision, and that allows the Queen of Pain to jump forward, bringing down the Kuro Enigma. They move over to Jirax as well. The Bear's coming over, trying to help out somehow. The Savage Roar is going to send them back. High Size can't finish the job. Jirax gets into the safety of the tier 2 tower, and Kuro was the only casualty of war.
Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Mind Control's actually going to be picked up by the lasso, pulled back in. He's already down to half HP, but in order to get this kill, he's going to have to go a bit deeper, and this means Spada can get the turnaround kill.
What a time to arrive with a Roar. They bring in the casualties, but it's still a 1-for-1 trade-off in that off lane.
Yeah, you notice I actually wanted to point out the movement of Jirax. If you were probably wondering what he was doing, I think he was moving himself forward to try and catch the Queen of Pain before the blink, because he knows if the Queen of Pain blinks, it's instantly going to be a scream, and that's a guaranteed kill at that point.
Yeah, you saw the rotation from the Lone Druid at bottom. That's going to help things out quite a lot, as the Beastmaster just hasn't been able to do anything, and that's just not a favorable matchup, and this is what Wings have been able to snowball into. Because of the jungler and the fact that they have a Bounty Hunter, they've just been being dominant all over the map so far, and you even saw the Keeper of the Light rotate early on. Everything just working out.
Yeah, what I really liked about Wings in their semifinal against Fnatic was game number 3, the way that they, traditional laning phase would have had them go one way, but they went another, and I think that was actually what secured themselves so much of an advantage in the first 10 minutes, and I feel like Wings is doing a same kind of dominant laning phase win here.
Fada is currently being stalked by Innocence. He actually went into ulti form. I don't know if that was a reaction to the fact that he saw the bounty go back invis.
I think it's just safe to do more than anything, especially if he's going to come into this mid lane. When you know the Queen of Pain has her ultimate, you don't want to stay around that 700 HP range. It's essentially that you're getting yourself a Vit booster. Kuro's going to make his first rotation near the top lane, but he doesn't have that black hole.
Yeah, and that's obviously necessary for them to
Got to keep an eye on mid as well. That entangle able to connect on the Queen of Pain. Beastmaster brings in the Roar. They have enough damage. Queen of Pain very quickly picked off. Batrider trying to TP in to give a bit of a hand, but it just wasn't fast enough. And you got to keep your eyes now up on top lane. The Dire Observer Ward saw the Keeper of the Light moving forward. Durex got his stun off. Kuro had one available, but now you see the Wrath of Nature come into play. And Shadow is on the run. Doppelgangering himself away, gets the max range on it too.
Notice what's happening in the mid lane. They're pushing down that tower. Instead of trying to rotate and cut off Shadow, they realize, you know, it's not just worth it trying to go for the Phantom Lancer here. They're just trying to pressure the mid lane tower because it's so important.
It's funny though, because now they stick around a little bit longer. You're having Shadow in a good position to gank it behind both Mind Control as well as Vader. He starts off with that first lance, slowing down the Lone Druid. Innocence is there, but now Savage Roar to the Queen of Pain. Sonic Wave taking out that Lone Druid, and they're gonna get Tufa. As Durex dies underneath his tier 1 tower, they may actually have 3 Mind Control. Actually, Sticky Napalmed up last dude into the Firefly. He ain't getting out this one. Queen of Pain will come in for the kill for Cure. And that's now 8-4. Team Liquid being picked off across the board.
Toby, they win from being able to successfully gank the Queen of Pain, which is so integral to be able to slow down this hero, to giving up a double kill like that. These kind of mistakes from Liquid can't be ignored. They have to be able to address them because they're just allowing Wings to be able to get way too much in the first 15 minutes.
Is it still that bad though? We've seen what a powerful Lone Druid can do later on. Is Vader still on a good timing?
I still think he is. He still has the Midas at an appropriate timing, and more importantly than that, he put a lot of pressure on this mid lane, and the Queen of Pain is going to be the hero that Wings look to rotate, and during that time period, the Lone Druid is just kind of going to be static farming. So she just has a lot more to accomplish, and we saw, even with farm, how easy it is for them to kill her. All it takes is one of those
smoke movement.
What is this point of this movement here? Just again trying to keep the Queen of Pain down?
No, it's to take this mid tower more than anything.
Oh, you get both. There it is, the Raw, Magic Missile follow-up, and again they combine at the same time the Wrath of Nature is off cooldown. They get the extra damage, find the kill, and take the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, Blitz is entirely right, because we saw the way that they were already able to chip down that tier 1.
Top core, right? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? He's got Soul Ring, he's gonna, no! He's waiting for the doppelganger before using the Black Hole. But he forces a hell of a lot of rotations. Wings are bringing the whole, well, cavalry up to the top lane.
Yeah, and that's actually a success, right? As long as Liquid don't actually get caught here.
Yeah, they're going to start TPing out. They saw it with the ward walking up there, but being able to take that mid tower is pretty crucial for Liquid as it opens up part of the map. It's going to make it even easier for them to get that Dire tier 1 and then establish control around the Roche area. You've got a lot of summons on the side of Liquid too, so definitely want to get aggressive on these towers, and when you take that mid tier 1 tower, it just becomes a lot easier to open up the map for yourself. You see they're immediately going for this offlane tower.
Yeah,
that's a good play.
That's the natural progression, right? You manage to take the mid tier 1 tower, and that's usually the tougher one to take. The safe lane is easy to be able to grab, and you'll see this Radiant jungle open right up for Liquid now.
Yeah, they saw the 4-man rotation at top with this ward up here, and so they know that there's going to be no sort of response. Liquid are just taking advantage of that. They can even maybe force them back.
Batrider, he's going to trigger the drum charge so we can get a little bit closer, but the damage is already there, and this is a track kill coming the way of Wings. Another thing which we got to keep in mind, the fact that now Wings, they have the Bounty Hunter over level 6.
A small thing, you know, is a small mistake by Kuro getting caught like that, but Track Gold really amplifies small mistakes, which gives me a very gloomy outlook for Liquid here. But Blitz is right, they're going to continue to go for the tier 2. If they had lost Kuro, this would be perfectly fine, right? Because you know Liquid can push so much faster, and because they have that ward that Blitz is talking about, they get the alarm bells and they get the information that allows them to be able to exploit Wings'
Check bottom lane. Here's the TPs coming in. You got Innocence in through the rear as well. Savage Roar's already been expended, but it's not keeping Keeper of the Light out. Fada can't get his TP out in time thanks to the stun from Innocence. And Matumberman, well, there's no other stuns, there's no other control, so he can just TP out under the noses of Wings and let Mind Control walk it off.
Another situation where if they hadn't given up that kill and Liquid have just been able to back away, then they return back to that top lane, which is opened up with such heavy rotations from Wings.
Yeah, something fairly interesting too is that the Batrider decided to go for drums. Like when you first said that, Toby, I thought I misheard you for a second because I thought he was going to get something like the 9-minute Blink Dagger. I guess it's just because he thinks that there's enough ways to open up just by passively walking at them with the Bounty Hunter track being able to enable that, but
Haven't seen that before, at least.
In our qualifiers for the Chinese region, there was a couple of Bat Riders, but it's definitely a rarity that pick up the drums first. I can't say that I'm a terribly big fan of it, but in some instances, like the way this game is going for Wings, it feels like the tempo is actually worth it. He doesn't need to quite jump people when he's got this grade of stats and movement speed advantage over them.
He's still going to have the 13-minute blink dagger. The question is it going to do much if Liquid can get the initiation? They're trying for it now with the smoke movement from Jirax and Koro. And who do they run into? It's Innocence, who's currently in Viz. Jirax triggers off the dust. It actually does reach over Innocence. So they see him off. Mind Control moving up as well, and they're bringing in everyone. But Tubberman as well. Innocence will die into the tower. So this Bounty Hunter, that's his first death in 12 minutes.
A pickoff like that is really important because it makes the Bounty Hunter scared to go for information, and it also allows them to rotate and defend this bottom tower.
Bada moving as well. He picked up an Invis rune. Just the movement of there is enough to force Batrider off that top lane. And he actually went BTs, no Blink Dagger, he went BTs and drums.
Yeah, it looks like he's just cycling through the full move speed build, and with the track available, he's nearly moving at max, but all we're gonna see right now is Spada is bottom. Ow.
Goodbye, Kuro. That Enigma just got popped, and Shadow's gonna get out in time before Mind Control can get in range for the Raw. Kuro adds another death to his name. There's 3 deaths to his name. While he's still desperately trying to complete up that mech of his.
This could be another one. Matumba Man comes in and just goes for the blind dust, trying to catch the Bounty Hunter, but Innocence was not quite there.
That's so much commitment of Observer Wards from Liquid. That's now like, we see 3 wards planted around the Radiant Secret Shop as well as top lane. Is this meant to be an answer to the fact they've lost that tier 1 tower?
Yeah, and right now, you see Matu, not really sure where he's supposed to be right now. He's got the Hand of Midas completed for himself, decides that the game is going to go a little bit longer than that. Usually you'll see Nature's Prophets either go for the Maelstrom or the Orchid just so that they have some heavy DPS, but I think he's correctly ascertained that his team just isn't going to be flat out pushing, and they're going to have to kind of win the game through these micro engagements and allowing Fada to just continue to pick up farm. And Liquid are probably going to now avoid fighting until the next timing, which for them is probably going to mean the Radiance.
Bottom lane, tier 2 tower being denied up by Ice. He'll have to pay us the price for it, or will he? No, he will. The Wrath of Nature kicks in, but it's now Mind Control under siege as 3 heroes very quickly from Wings bring in the extra help, and they wait just long enough for Innocence to arrive. That's a track kill with 4 involved Wings heroes.
Beastmaster still gets a Necro 2 out of that, and obviously the progression to the Necro 3 is the most important part for the Beastmaster, because you know Wings are actually, as Blitz is saying, you know, they're in control of the game right now, and Liquid's not going to be looking for those fights, but continuing your item progression is utmost importance, which is why you got to go for some efficiency in things like the Hand of Midas. Wings seem to, once they take the tier 1 tower at mid, which Liquid don't want to give up, but they might just have to soon, they're feeling this like suffocation around the map a little bit.
Yeah, this still doesn't even take into account the fact that they have a Phantom Lancers, they've got the track gold, they're continuing to get ahead right now, and Liquid are just being hemmed in, especially by this Bounty Hunter. They just don't know where it's safe to run around. They're not being able to take advantage of the map. Can't even go for anything like the Roshan or continuing to push down the towers despite how many summons they have. I mean, they've got the Nature Tree, they've got the Treants, they've got the Eidolons. On top of that, you've got the Necrobooks and the Boar. None of this is being utilized right now.
So the next thing here is going to be essentially Wings capitalizing on, and I think this is what this 4-man smoke is all about. They need to take this middle tower, and it's already chipped down. That will actually close Liquid off so much more than they already have.
Yeah, but right now, Liquid are trying to defend it up. Even Kuro going for the extra point up in Midnight Pulse early. Starts with his stun. Innocence is there. And swap back from Jirax. Very defensive to try and protect the Enigma, but it won't stop Faith. He just goes all the way in until the stun from Jirax holds him there with a Sonic Wave. Able to reach far enough up the hill to kill off the Enigma. So Wings, they do find the 1 kill. Jirax also getting hit by that Illuminate doesn't help. It is all tracked up. You can see what's coming if you're in the mind of Wings.
Liquid just don't have the greatest heroes to be able to respond quick fire to that kind of jump by Wings.
And that was such a good move right there by Wings. Just they bait the Cuddle on the low ground and they make sure that they see him charging the blast. The Enigma walks forward for the stun thinking he's just going to cancel it, but everybody from Wings there, they're going to get the tier 1, even pressure this tier 2. And Liquid, they just don't have anything that can really fight. They've got the mech from Enigma, but they don't have any real burst.
They finally find something. It's going to be Innocence, Mind Control. While they don't have, well, yeah, they do have the detection. So from Matumba, he triggers the dust, and now Innocence, he'll be brought down. Even the triggering of the Necrobooks from Mind Control felt it was worth it.
You could see the progression of strategy here, right, is that once they realize they're able to take that middle tower, and they've been controlling the top half of the map quite a bit,
Wings know that Liquid's playing in their jungle, so it's smart of Innocence to scout that out, but naturally Liquid know that Bounty Hunter's going to try and scout that out, and they have the counter work preemptively late. And this is also good. They see heroes in the top lane, they go for the Roche.
Yeah, they just simply weren't fast enough to respond to this, and once you flash 2 heroes at top, what Wings were trying to do was just kind of apply pressure, force somebody to deal with this lane. But if you look at the creep wave structure right now, all 3 lanes are relatively pushed in. Wings don't really have a lot of options there, and Liquid, off the bounty kill, is immediately just going to get the Aegis, and this is something that they need, more than anything, Toby, just to delay the game. They need to get this Radiance on the Bear before they take the next engagement.
When you hit that point too, because obviously this is a Prophet as well as a lone Druid, when is Liquid then looking to push and try and take over Wings side of the map?
I mean, I think the bigger question is going to be about Wings and how they're going to be able to just further the momentum of this game. Liquid just pushed this game late, but I want to know, like, how does Wings continue this push forward?
It's difficult just because your Queen of Pain is still a really squishy core. It just takes one entangle, and she's the highest net worth in the game, but she'll go down just like that. So that's a little bit difficult to protect her. They don't really have anything like the mech. Their Keeper of the Light is steadily working towards one, but even then, still 800 gold away. I think if you're Wings, you just continue to look for these mini pickoffs, allow your Bounty Hunter to scout ahead. He hasn't really had any level progression this game, and that's going to be something that they need as well.
Should we look closer as well at the PL then? Like, you've gone through all the other heroes right now. I'm looking towards the PL. Like, if the Queen of Pain isn't going to find that, like, push power, do you get it from the PL instead? Like, he's already got Diffuser Blade done. It looks like he's starting up at least into, what, a Manta style?
Essentially, the Phantom Lancer is just a ticking time bomb. He's not much of a factor right now, but he will be very shortly. In fact, he's already really good with the Diffusal Blade plus the Boots of Travel. He's in these team fights, he's going to do a lot of damage, but he's not quite that unstoppable force just yet, which will reach probably more like 25 minutes.
I think part of the issue right now, if I'm looking at Wings' lineup, is whenever they get these mini engagements, they can't really get anything past it because they don't really have tower pushing heroes. So it's like they find a kill. If they don't find it on Liquid side of the map, or if they don't find it near tier 1 tower or tier 2 of Liquid's, what can they really get out of it? It's just you get the track kills, you disengage, but it allows Liquid 1 or 2 opportunities to simply just find a kill and go for their own push.
So that's where the idea of going for these pickoffs and building up the track gold really comes into play, because Wings essentially have to have a really large net worth advantage in order to go high ground in these games.
Yeah, exactly. Before you take any sort of engagement, you want to make sure that you can survive one ill-fated one so that you can continue to play aggressively.
Kind of a little surprise with Faith. He tried to have a crack at Kuro. First revealed the Blink Dagger 2, and he did actually show that to Team Liquid. Obviously coming in a little bit later thanks to the BTs and the drums that come before it. So it shows the fact that Wings want to try and fight, while Shadow goes to the opposite side of the map. In fact, Mind Control, he can see him. The Roar will happen, the Necrobook's going to work, Doppelganger is still available for him. He's going to use it. Now can they find the real one? They're baiting it. He's gone to the east and then realizes the one on the west. Shadow can't be pulled back out. The recall was actually attempted there by the Keeper of the Light.
It was a cute play. If he'd managed to draw them farther away to the right-hand side, it got recalled away, that would have been amazing, but unfortunately he was just too low by the time he actually doppelgangered, so not going to work out. But a pickoff like that for Liquid will allow them to maintain a bit more control. They could push out this top lane, get something going there, and might be able to TP back in time to defend tier 1, though I would much rather see them just trade tier 2 for a tier 1 bottom if Wings continue.
Creekwave's just a little bit too far away. Even that tier 1 tower is still insanely healthy, and this is a lone Druid.
And you see the strength right here of the lineup once again that we pointed out is you get one pick off, you're immediately pressuring this tier 2 tower.
Oh, that entangle. It hits on Faith, the Illuminate, trying to help and dissuade Team Liquid from being underneath this tower. Have they got anything else? Nope, Liquid, they're going to back up safely until Queen of Pain. She'll at least get the pick off on the Bear. But the track is over on Fada. You'll see Matumberman TPing out. They need a stun. The Flame Break will provide that. And Fada, he won't be able to escape from this one. Mind Control's already leaving him for dead. And that will be the Aegis the Immortal to go. They need to kill him off again. At the same time, Kuro as well as Jirax is teaming up in the mid to try and add more pressure. It's Fada who is still being hunted with the Orchid on him. He consumes up very fast. Anthony, he can't even the Savage Roar. He's just buying time while the PL died in middle. Fada is still alive. Finally, he will be brought down. But really, what was the cost?
That was so good of Liquid to be able to capitalize on the mid lane and go for a kill like that on the Phantom Lancer, because that was such a huge blow for them to lose a lone Druid who had the Aegis. He knew that's why he went for the TP out. It was a desperate play for jump time.
Lasso on the Kuro. The follow-up stun's going to be there from Jirax, but it bought time for Instance to come over with a Shuriken toss, bounce damage. They're going to find the pick off until Matoman. He comes in to help, but now he actually will just turn and be a casualty. Jirax, can he help him? The stun finds one. He tries to make a little bit more space with the Sprout, and it's just tit for tat right now. 3 heroes down for either side, and well,
I can't believe Matubba made that kind of read. The fact that he was able to be like, yeah, we can take that fight. Yes, he ended up dying, but he got 2 kills because of it, and I think that's somewhat worth it.
Yeah, right now this Queen of Pain is going to go for this top push. Eventually you're going to have to deal with her, and this is what you want to do whenever you win any sort of engagement. You want to push out the lanes, make sure that you apply pressure on the other side of the map.
Top lane, Jirax really exposed. He's going to actually get all of his mana taken away with the blinding light and the sonic wave. Vada gets destroyed. Jirax will join him. And this tier 2 tower will be forfeit.
What was that? Looks like Wings totally set up that trap.
I'm not really sure what Liquid was going to go for there, just because even with the Queen of Pain only showing, that's still a dangerous defense for them. The rest of the heroes haven't really shown up on the map, and that's the benefit of pushing out these waves, is you create this sort of uncertainty, and Wings, they understand that the position that they're in, they're never going to find a better opportunity to open up the map and go for one of these straight up pushes, because your Phantom Lancer normally can't just high ground like this.
So you just got to take as much as you can. Even if you don't get the tier 3, even chip damage is good enough, but it looks like they should be able to. Still another 15 seconds for the Lone Druid.
The time. Do they have it?
Liquid got to be able to take a tier 3 of their own. There's going to be a risky trade-off here. They will be able to get the melee racks.
Ice in real trouble. He's actually so low, he's going to burn out. The TP's coming back at Queen of Pain, looking towards Matumberman, and he's actually going to go down. Matumberman just hits like a truck, but the doppelganger Matumberman can't keep me out in time. And Mind Control, trapped with no mana, completely surrounded, and he'll lose his life as well. They at least force Wings off the top lane, but the melee racks was already taken by Wings.
I'm not sure if that was the right play by Liquid. I'm not sure if they could actually defend that top lane if they rotated their bottom heroes out, but going for the trade, I guess, was just an idea. It worked out a little bit, and at least they got some tier 3 gold in their pockets.
Yeah, they still went out there, I think, just because of the engage up at top. They weren't really going to be able to do anything. Their Lone Druid was still dead for 10 seconds, and that's the worst position. When the buyback timer, it's not long enough. If he was maybe out for 30 seconds, he would have gone for the buyback and tried to do something if he had it available, but not really worth anybody's time.
Essentially making the best out of a really bad situation because of the pick-off at the tier 2.
But now the crippling is there, so the top lane presence, Wings, they can just enjoy it and maybe think about their next moment, as I'm seeing Faith as well as Ice. They've still got their smoke sitting over on the Batrider, but they're right underneath the dire observer ward, so Team Liquid are also aware of this. And in fact, Matumberman, he's now checking up, he's sitting on the hillside. He knows what can be coming at him, but he's going to start cliff jungling this for a bit.
Yeah, the Bounty Hunter about to pick up the Lotus Orb for himself.
Just imagine if he popped that smoke as he TP'd out. But
they were just too far away, but he did see it. Thanks to that observer ward that was already down. So Team Liquid, they're just backing the hell up.
They know Wings is on the top part of the map. They immediately go bottom. They still have that tier 1 tower, which is rather surprising. Not too many patches ago, we would have seen tier 1 offlane towers always be given up first, but
it's that smoke movement. Faith's going to go up into the Firefly, trying to get a little bit of vision, but realizes now they get scouted out by that Beastmaster Hawk. So Liquid again, the early warning system is playing beautifully into their hands, and they just force into the tier 2 tower instead. But Team Liquid, they look like they're in a good position to try and defend this. Just off to the side, but not on top of the tower. So in fact, it looks like they're going to let the tier 2 tower drop.
Can't really defend this, especially when Wings is already set up and you don't really have the best defense. They don't really have wave clear either. Liquid's lineup was almost entirely meant to be on the aggressive. They probably didn't expect to be in this position where they were forcing out waves and things of that nature. So Liquid, they just have to reset. Wings, they're not going to go for the high ground because we talked about the difficulty of their lineup anyways.
Mind Control, pick a hero, any hero, preferably the correct one. Shadow able to doppelganger himself out, and again the blinding light. Gonna force him away, and with Illuna behind it, Team Liquid will not be chasing.
They needed a pick off like that because then they would have been able to stall up Wings when they go for this bottom lane, because now it's really fortuitous in some ways that Wings still have a tier 1 tower at the bottom lane to take, because they can't go high ground, as Blitz was saying, and they should also try and maintain some control over the Roshan pit in the next few minutes. So sitting in the bottom lane is actually quite nice for Wings. They can take a tier 1, tier 2. Liquid are immediately rotating around the map though to try and put some emphasis on top and middle.
Yeah, I think dodging right now is the best thing that Liquid can get away with, just because that tier 1 tower, it's not worth really sacrificing your lives over or risking the game over. Wings are well aware of that. If you're going to defend a tower like that, you have to be preemptively set up, and Liquid, they're going to go for this trade. They're most likely going to pick up this mid tier 2 tower, and Wings, they've got to make the decision soon.
Mind Control knows that he should just keep going, I think, and try and maybe oh, he doesn't have Necrobook anymore, so he can't put any more pressure on the tier 3, and tier 2 is obviously got to be lost.
And they might actually find Jerax.
Here they come. Nope. Lone Druid can't do anything. Oh, he actually got stunned. You're right. With the track on him too, there's a lot of rotation coming over. Wings are actually surrounding him on all sides. Unless some beautiful swap play can work, actually he swaps, but he triggers the fresh Lincoln Sphere. And Queen of Pain, well, that should be the PL who finds the last hit on that.
Well, if you didn't know about the link into the Lotus Orb, he sure does now.
Bounty Hunter picking up a gem for himself, and with all of most of the tier 1 and tier 2 towers taken by Wings, I think this is a good idea. Deny them all vision possible, especially with the Bounty Hunter in the game. Make it difficult for Liquid to run around the map and feel safe. That forces Liquid more into a black and white game where they either go for the push blind or they try to fight outside their base, which plays into Wings' favor.
Yeah, Innocence's positioning now, if he can just move around and be able to get the information, because Liquid have gotten a lot of information even though they're behind because they're continually pushing out these lanes. They have things like the Hawk, but between the Gem and the Bounty Hunter, if they can actually gain, take away all the vision of Liquid, gain more for themselves, they can play this longer, slower game, right? Where the more you keep Liquid locked inside their base, the more willing you are to push this 35, 45 minutes and just make it so you have like a 25,000 net worth lead. But again, it comes back down to Roshan. Wings have to control this pit.
They're coming over already. Innocence is already making his move over towards Roshan. As far as the vision goes, there isn't a single observer ward around this pit for Wings, but they just understand the fact that Liquid are up to it. So they're going to come forward. The Hawk, it just goes invis. They get rid of it. Thanks to a quick lance with the Firefly, already Team Liquid. They're just trying to bow out this one. The Flame Break pushing him away. Mind Control being slowed up, losing a little bit of mana too. The Prophet about to TP in for a bit of a block, but not going to happen.
If only Wings had a hero that could actually, you know, successfully do Roshan right now, they could go for it themselves after pushing Liquid back. That's part of the reason that Wings need to be able to maintain control over the Roshan pit, is that they can't very easily do it themselves, and it just leaves them opening for Liquid to be able to maybe catch them out.
Yeah, I think the play right now is for the Nature's Prophet to push out top wave to probably about here. Once he gets to that area, then Wings kind of has to decide whether or not they want to send somebody, or if Matu can just start to pressure that tier 2 tower. And usually that's the kind of decision making that you want to force out of the enemy side, where you get at least one thing. They know that Wings can't go for the Roshan themselves, they just don't really have the damage before. So they're going to go for this bottom tower instead. And Matu's already going to give up on this top push.
I think he really needed to keep that going. They're just not getting enough out of essentially Wings being full out bottom. Now he could be scared because a lot of Wings are off map, but we've talked about the fact that this gem is going to create this kind of fear.
Oh, lasso, Koro, quick swap out by Jirax means there's no peril. That's also the BKB challenge being expended by the Batrider.
It's a fine attempt by the Batrider. He doesn't necessarily know when he jumped in that the Vengeful Spirit was nearby. He might as well go for a pickoff like that.
Can he even get that pickoff when you're like in the future finds? Like you got an Ether Lens and a level 2 swap on that VS. It seems to be one of the hardest combos to get now.
It is really difficult to try to open up on that. He was just looking for any sort of sign for a fight. Maybe you don't even need the best lasso just because you have so much move speed on your team plus the track. And your Queen of Pain is more or less unkillable if the Lotus Orb comes out at the right time.
They're going to try and start Roshan up. Jirax is still saying just outside the pit, his swap will come back off cooldown, but they initiate over to Jirax with the Orc on him. He can't really do much with the blinding light. The Necro gets to take it out. This fight for now, as Sparta, he's still sitting inside the pit. His Bear is the only thing really fighting in the front lines. And Kuro waiting in the fog of war. The Sonic Wave will connect. He BKBs up, but Wings see it and they back out. There's no black hole opportunity and they're just failing. The TP out if possible. Mind Control may be left for dead. And in fact, that's exactly what happens. And now Wings, do you want to get Norm? The Tubberman is exactly that. The BKB is up and his TP out. No, you ain't getting away.
And now Wings just want to fight right outside the Roshan pit, taking 3 heroes. Yes, they do not have good Rosh taking heroes, but they can do it with such a big numbers advantage with confidence now.
They lost their gem as well during that fight. Now Innocence is possessing both the Liquid as well as the original Wings gem.
And I think some of what behooved Liquid to go for an attempt Roshan there was the fact that Matumba Man pushed out the top lane, right? And Phantom Lancer responded with Boots of Travel. But the thing was, the Phantom Lancer didn't stay there for long.
Yeah, but Keeper of the Light being in the game really makes that hard for them to make play around. Usually that's going to be one of those trades which is really favorable for Liquid, where all you have to do is send your Nature's Prophet to push things in, but with the Keeper of the Light, that makes it nearly impossible. And taking fights right now are so difficult. We talked about how important the track hold was going to be to this game. Wings, they don't have the best pushing lineup, so they need to just build up this lead more and more, and
You see how effective the Queen of Pain is with this type of build. She's got the Shivas for the defensive capabilities against the limited physical damage of Liquid. The Lincolns makes it nearly impossible for either of the supports to do anything. The Beastmaster can't open up on her either, and the Orchid is just enough to be able to isolate heroes and force BKBs on the side of Liquid.
I've got a funny mechanics question for you guys, actually. I've been thinking about this for a little bit. Bat Rider, Lotus Orb gets placed on him. Vengeful Spirit goes for the swap. He's already lassoed somebody and is trying to pull him back. Swap goes down. Does it break the lasso?
Yeah, I think it instantly does.
So he just stays in place, but it does break that lasso.
Yeah.
I thought as much, but it just seemed like a funny little question.
If it happens, it will be spectacular. But now Wings, like, it's obvious what's going to happen with this. That PL is so fat. With a fully completed hard over on him, he's going to tank everything on the front line. Even also, like, you've got to keep in mind, the Keeper of the Light is helping out every single time. He's already got that Aghanim Scepter completed, plus the mech, as we are rapidly approaching daytime. And in fact, the daytime now arrives as Wings push up into that high ground, up to the tier 3 tower. They've got great vision, ready to fight this, and you can see what Matuma's doing. He's having to creep skip this out to try in some way to slow down this push of Wings. But they've still got a catapult with them. They keep the PL on the front lines, Aegis as well as Heart. Shadow will not want to leave this party. If he can keep that catapult up, they're going to be fine. And Liquid will be forced to try and do something. They keep him back so far. He just wants to BKB and go and be mind control. Initiating over on the Bat Rider. He's still stuck in position, but now for the Sonic Wave, hits so hard. Kuro on mind control. They're forced back inside their base. The PL wants to go for more. There's Illumina just allowing the Queen of Pain to stay on the front lines. Remember, all this time, the Reich is still being chipped away. Liquid, they can't defend it. They're going to lose another side lane of Rax here.
Yeah, I think there's nothing like Liquid are going to try and heal up, and Curl goes back in with a TP, but he still doesn't find the positioning for the black hole.
No, he couldn't. He got orchided up instantly, and well, Blinding Light push back too. But a single opportunity being given here to Team Liquid by Wings.
So well controlled by Wings. The fact that they started off the whole entire thing, you know, the lances constantly on Curl, pushing him back, throwing the illusions at him, keeping him back as much as possible, trying to burn through his mana. Time after time, that was the Phantom Lancer's target. And even when the Bat Rider goes in, they still had the protection of all those illusions running at Liquid, just kind of burning them down and keeping them zoned out. That's how they got up into the high ground in the first place, and that's how they got the whole entire lane of Rax, by pushing
Chirax. The Orchid's on him again. Luckily doesn't get slown up by that Shiva's Guard, but he's getting a little bit bumped around by the Flame Break. Back up, okay, they blink further forward. Lincoln's will be triggered, but then the Lotus Orb is also there for protection straight after.
You see, the problem right now with Liquid's lineup is that they have no way to open up on this Queen of Pain. The Phantom Lancer, who has the Aegis and the Heart, you can't really run past him. He frontlines everything. And with the Lotus Orb available too, Liquid, how are they supposed to start a fight ever? They can't get to the back lines. Even when they do, they've got to blow 2 or 3 spells just to be able to kill this Queen of Pain. And even then, there's no guarantee.
Which is why they were so desperate to try and cut the creep wave and use Midnight Pulse to keep Wings from being able to go high ground. But you see, Wings are well adept to deal with it.
And look what they keep doing. Shadow keeps sending his illusions time and time again at Kuro. He's got no mana. He can't Black Hole. The one charges and the Arcane Boots are just not enough to sustain him. And Kuro's had enough. He's finally going to pick up this Blink Dagger. This is a surprise item which could work in the favor of Team Liquid. The question is, will an opportunity present itself for him? The top lane's still pushing in.
Yeah, this is absolutely Kuro's one shot to really make this Enigma pick well worth it. If he can actually get the surprise
They can
jump.
see him though. They can't. The Observer Ward's sitting inside the base to the east. Wings are fully aware that the fact that Kuro has this Blink Dagger.
So they go back and deal with the Furion's push.
They probably just disengage, wait for an opportunity. They don't have enough time to wait for the Roshan or anything like that, but you can just send the Queen of Pain to deal with this, the Keeper of the Light, in just 10... Actually, she could recall him right now. Don't really have to wait for anything anymore. They've got all the items that they're going to need throughout the rest of this game. Liquid just aren't really scaling forward anymore because they haven't found any objectives. The only person that's able to leave their base at all is Matuma Man, and that's a Hex completed on the Queen of Pain. Now she's going to get brought back. She'll start to begin the assault.
Matuma Man can't come back for 15 seconds. He just TP'd over the Radiant Ancients when this fight is beginning. There's no fortification, so Liquid, it looks like that tier 3 tower will finally go down. Again, Kuro just being hunted down by these PL illusions. This Enigma is being given no quarter by Wings. And they're looking for now their third melee rank if they can take it.
Blast after blast, keeping everything healthy, the illusions even,
Aegis
healing
is down.
up, and they just keep going at it.
There's no Aegis anymore. So Wings may be a little bit more cautious with their PL.
I mean, that's the funny thing, though, right? Is that they oftentimes don't have to commit any heroes up into the high ground when it comes to chipping down the range tracks. They're just throwing illusions after illusions at it.
Dire's middle barracks are
Still have enough of a BKB charge on the Batrider. They're not really pushing in just because they don't want to risk the game. It's still kind of difficult for them to show themselves. The Phantom Lancer still does die really quickly to that Midnight Pulse, and they know the acquisition of the Blink Dagger. And they're gonna get spotted with that smoke too.
That Observer Ward has done so much already. Like, they've been seeing Kuro's position every time. The Batrider have been throwing out Flame Break, so the tick time is always on him. He cannot blink out.
Wings will probably just play really passive until they smoke until the smoke wears itself thin. And Liquid, you can even see Jarek's kind of pushing forward. He's like, we got to get an opening soon, but they're not going to find it because Wings have this information. We're really seeing the brilliance of this Queen of Pain, or excuse me, the Keeper of the Light pickup. It happened earlier when when Liquid attempted to go for the Roshan, right? And they recalled back the Phantom Lancer for a full 5 versus 5. It seems like the Keeper of the Light is really good at being able to curb the movement around the map that Liquid are usually such a good team at, right? That's really what they're known for.
Phantom Lancer has 2,300 gold without a care in the world. He's just going to send the illusions forward. Liquid, we talked about it in the mid game where they just don't really have the best way to clear these illusions, especially when they've got the evasion.
Wings know that it just doesn't matter. Like Liquid, they have to get like a really big black hole opening in order to turn this game around. Wings are essentially looking at like
you keep having heroes being tracked up. They have all the vision. They see every position of Team Liquid.
Yeah, and Wings are thinking the same thing. Like, how could they possibly do that? If we just keep throwing illusions at them, they're never going to be able to find this. The range track is eventually going to go down. And sometime soon, maybe they'll even back up for Roshan. But until then...
There it is. The swap staff into the swap, but it's on PL. He just doppelgangers away. The blinding light pushing Jirax closer so they can get the last two. Finally, the stalemate is broken with the Illuminant Jirax. He is going to go down. The mech charge keeps him up a little bit longer as well. The sync charges. But finally, the VS is down. But Eyesight, caught by Matumba, came in through the rear, inflicted the damage, and now Faith also a very unhealthy. Matumba gets himself a double kill. Kuro's waiting for him. There she is! And the black hole! They need PL to die! And will they get it? He's not dead yet! The Warriors on! He'll doppelganger away, but finally, the pump will be there! But the buybacks right now, the money will allow Wings to just roll down the mid lane. No buyback for the Beastmaster, no buyback for the VS.
They know all the big commit though. All the big cooldowns are down. They know that Wings with the buyback on the Phantom Lancer, they can just go ahead and win this game right here, right now. Liquid have no chance to be able to stop it.
There it is, the jump in. Kuro won't survive much longer. Matumba needs more damage to come out, but what's he really got? He's going to get Lanced up the bear. It's actually mana drained out. There's no resummon here for Fada. If he loses that, they lose the AC and the Radiance, basically half of their damage. Matumba again being initiated on. He's hoping this Disco Lightning Shield's going to save him, but right now he's dying to illusions. He can't even survive the fakeness of Wings. Back into the fountain. That's one way to do it, but Sparta again caught out now on the bottom lane. Blinding light, a swap out, but it's over. GG, Wings will take game number 1 in this best of 5 grand final against Team Liquid.
Wings came into this tournament through the Chinese qualifier. They were a team that was looked at as being strong yet underdogs against the tier 1s, and they made it all the way here into the grand finals and have taken the first game against one of the Shanghai major finalists.
This is the first game that Liquid has lost this entire tournament, and they looked really out of sorts throughout this entire game. I thought for a second that they had the outdraft, but all of these micro engagements were just won by Wings over and over again, and Wings, they had almost no way to go for the high ground or punish, but just through the sheer force of being outplayed, somehow got ahead, then just end the game like that.